Evening, folks, and welcome back to the Cheltenham Exchange once again. And we're on to day 4 of Punter's picks and the final day of the festival. Once again, we've got some tremendous special guests. Excuse the noise in the background, it's the dogs fighting. So, we've got amazing special guests, as I've already alluded to. We've got the always understated Dawn Leadon-Bolger from the Racing Social. We have Cheers Master Charlie Haimes, Super Cheers, who really knows his stuff, friend of the show. We've got the fantastic Andrew from the Finishing Line. We've got Sam Hart from Next Gen Racing. Wow, we've got some great special guests on this one. Yeah, and then we've got Alex. So, enjoy the show, folks, and we hope you clean up, and we hope you enjoyed the series. Thanks to all our special guests, and we'll see you all again soon. Enjoy!
Hi, I'm Dawn Leadon-Bolger. Dawn is May on Twitter, Blondie Bear Baby on Instagram, and live from the horse box with Racing Social every Thursday night. As I always say, my hips and tips don't lie, and my strike rate is as good as any good Aidan O'Brien horse. So, I'm so excited to have been asked by Cheltenham Exchange to talk about the Triumph Hurdle. I'm excited, delighted, and I think it is going to be absolutely terrific this year. We do all bemoan about the Triumph Hurdle curse. Is it a myth? Is it fact? Is it feeling? Well, you know what they say about facts? They don't care about feelings. And my feeling is that this year it will go to the favourite, Lossy Mount. Now, people may argue there has only been in the last 23 years 2 fillies to have won the Triumph Hurdle. In 2000, a French filly called Snowdrop won. Her career afterwards, she ran in one more race in France. We didn't see her again. Second filly to win is Burning Victory. Burning Victory, trained by Willie Mullins. She went on and won again February last year at Punchestown, and was a very, very good fort to Cyprius in the Gold Cup at Royal Ascot. We look at another really good mare, Apple's Jade. She was second to Ivana Gorbachev in 2016. She put in one of her career best performances in the mares in 2017, the year later. And so, because of that, yes, okay, there's more geldings than there is fillies to have won the Triumph Hurdle, but I still think she's good enough. I think come Friday, we're going to see her absolutely show the boys what she's made of. Her performance in Otay before she made her way over to Ireland was so good, and her trainer, who also trained the very good River de Tai, excuse my pronunciation, who was 5th in an Arca last year, was so impressed with her. Although she made some errors, she ran on well, and she has a fantastic turn of foot. To any of the other Ante-Post bettors out there, I'd advise you to go back and look at that run at Otay, because it will instill possibly the confidence that was lost in Lossy Mount from Dublin Racing Festival. Dublin Racing Festival this year was probably one of the best weekends of National Hunt racing you're going to see. We learned a lot, but let's not forget about the horses that were bet, and I think she will come back bigger and better from that. She was tested by Gallimarcou, but she made Gallimarcou look ordinary at Christmas at Leopardstown. So it was 7 lengths in the difference that day. Now I know Willie was not happy afterwards with Paul, but again I think we learned a lot from Lossy Mount. We learned a lot from Gallimarcou as well, but I think the Triumph Hurdle, Lossy Mount will finish ahead of Gallimarcou. I look back to that very, very wet day at Fairyhouse in December when Lossy Mount put her feet into Irish soil. Danny Mullins had told people the whole week that she was the one to beat. She bet the very good Madeira horse, Zarak the Brave, and Comfort Zone that day was third, and we have seen what the son of Churchill can really do, having beaten the other son of Churchill, Scriptwriter, a few weeks ago. So, I have every faith in Lossy Mouth, in the rich colours. Last year he won with Vauban, this year he'll win with Lossy Mouth. She's a very tight price, but she's one of my bankers for the week. Let's see the little unicorn do what we all believed when we seen her back in Fairy House. Let her show us that you can't beat a good woman or keep her down. I mentioned there Comfort Zone and Scriptwriter as well. Comfort Zone is 8-1 at the moment. I'm going to have an each way play. And Scriptwriter is 14-1. He was only beaten very 0.75 lengths. And the Cheltenham trial, both those horses have won in the Cheltenham trials, and I think letting them go off at 8-1 and 14-1 is craziness. The two sons of Churchill, craziness, madness. Joseph O'Brien, Comfort Zone, Aidan O'Brien's ex-recruit Scriptwriter, who's now Milton Harris, and we know Milton Harris knows how to train them for the triumph. So, as I say, Cheltenham Exchange, you've asked me for my Ante-Post for the triumph. I've made her case. I believe in unicorns, and I certainly believe in Lossy Mount. I've got my very own unicorn here, and for an each way play, Comfort Zone, easy as you like at 8-1, or go with the Scriptwriter and let him write his own story at 14s. But as I say, Lossy Mouth all day. Watch her. Come on, beat the boys, girl. You can do it. Be lucky, keep smiling, and follow Lossy Mouth all the way to be triumphant in the Triumph Hurdle.
Hi everyone, I've been asked by the guys for a selection in the Albert Bartlett on the Friday of Cheltenham. When Ian said it was the Albert Bartlett, to be honest, it was a bit head in hands because I think it's a wide open race, but I do have a selection in Gordon Elliott's Cool Survivor, available at 20-1 or 14-1 on the Renault bet. He was quite an obvious eye catcher at Leopardstown on the last day. I think he's got the ideal profile for an Albert Bartlett type horse. There is some talk about him maybe having an entry in the Martin Pipe, based on his mark, I'd assume. So I'd definitely take 14-1 non-Renault bet. I think conditions will suit him down to the ground in the Albert Bartlett, back up to 3 miles, and with the hill as well. I think he'll relish the hill, so my selection will be Cool Survivor, 14-1 non-Renault bet for the Albert Bartlett. Best of luck.
Hello everyone, Andrew Halligan here from the Finishing Line podcast, and I have been allocated the Cheltenham Gold Cup for the Cheltenham Exchange's Cheltenham Festival preview. The Blue Ribbon event, the race that every owner, trainer, jockey wants to win. The race that every punter wants to back the winner of. Is upon us. Is only just over 3 weeks away, and before we get into the race, let's go through the bet. So as of February the 19th, the betting is as follows. Gallop de Champ is in at 13-8. We've nobody. It's 15-2. We have Aplutard, Brave Man's Game, and Statler in at 8s. We have Conflators, a High Senior in at 12s, Protector Ash at 16s, Hewick, and Indo at 20s, and at 25s, Bigger Arrest. Look, I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but we will start with the current favourite, Gallop de Champ. If you said to me this time last year that Gallop de Champ will be able to be put to sleep mid-pack in a race, literally just go about his business and not use his exuberant jumping throughout a race, I would have laughed at you. But by some Willie Mullins miracle, they have taught this horse how to switch off, go sleep halfway through a race, and then when they need him, he's there. He's becoming into the complete racehorse, in my opinion. And his wins in the John Durkan, look, we all expected him to do that, but his real test was the Irish Gold Cup at Leopardstown at the Dublin Racing Festival. Again, he travelled through the race beautifully. He jumped well, but when Paul went for him, he was there. And by God, did he pick up after the last. He got a bump mid-air when jumping the last alongside Fury Road. And what impressed me the most was how quickly he picked up and how far it actually took Paul Townend to pull him up down a bit near the first fence into the back straight. To me, he's a complete horse, and he's worthy favourite at 13-8. As you probably know by me talking, he's would be my pick for this. But I go to a selection to follow him home as well. But I'll go through the rest of them right now that I've mentioned there. We'll go start with Novices. Yates. Novices Yates, to me, 15-2. I wouldn't have him as second favourite. To me, he's a high class handicapper. He won the Grand National all well and good. He won on his comeback at Aintree. Obviously he loves that track, even though it's a different track to the actual Grand National, but he loves being in that particular track. His run in the Cotswold was. There was promise in it. Don't get me wrong, there was promise in it, but he's this kind of horse that I would look at and say he's going to be running on the end. He might nick a place, but is he good enough, classy enough to win a Gold Cup? No, I think he'll drift on the day myself. Brave Man's Game is one who I think as well. I'm not really a fan of the horse, but he's the horse that strikes me as well. He's a King George horse. He's a flat track horse. Like this is where we're going to see the best out of him. Will we see the best out of him over 3 mile, 2.5 furlongs in a Gold Cup? I don't think so personally. But look, he's had to prove me wrong already this season. But I just see him coming back being a kind of Silvignaco Conti kind of horse, winning his like the Betfair chases. If he runs it next year, and the King George. He strikes me that kind of horse. He doesn't really strike me having what it takes to win a Gold Cup. But look, could be wrong. Statler's an interesting one. He ran a nice race at the Irish Gold Cup at the Dublin Race Festival. I think people kind of got carried away with the way he finished. I don't think he really finished that fast. I think it was just the fact that Fury was stopping and coming back to him that made it look like he was really finishing at the end. If you go back and look at it, he didn't really close the gap between himself and Gallup and the Champ near the finish. So, look, the extra trip is going to suit him down to the ground. He's a National Hunt Chase winner. He's definitely in there with a chance. His run at Tramore behind Indo was good, but I think Paul even would say himself he didn't give him the best ride ever. So he's in there with a chance, but at 8-1, I'd want to be bigger. Where will we go next? We go to Conflate. Conflate is very, very interesting. Conflate was he won at Christmas time, and he's been put away for this. There was talk about him going back down to the Ryanair since Allaho was put out when Michael O'Leary wanted to win that race, but it looks like that Fury Road is the one that's going to go there. He goes about his business nicely. You say that he's a horse who I think there might be more to come out of him with this trip. His win at Christmas time at Leopardstown was good. He got a great ride, taking it up down the back straight. Yeah, he's very interesting. 12-1, I think he'd be shorter on the day. So he's one. If you do fancy Ante-Post, I think it's time to back him now. I can see him nearly going 6-1, half on the price come today. A high senior, love this fella, but he's an absolute fruitcake. You couldn't trust him as far as you throw him. Look, I won't back him. I wouldn't back him now for a Gold Cup. If he went off and won it, fair play to him. But I couldn't have him. There's too many variables with him. There's too many risks. There's too many. Will he jump? Well, will he spit the dummy out? What will he do? God only knows. It'd be a good watch though. Protectorat is the horse I just can't have at all. He had his chance last year and he got well and truly put in his place by Protectorat. Hewick did what would have been 6 months ago. He was on everyone's lips. He was, this fella's going to have a right chance in the Gold Cup, so on and so forth. Look, obviously he's been put away for this. He's at the win over in America. I just think he lacks the class for this. It's plain and simple. That's the way I see it. He's 20-1 for a reason. Look, I'd love for Shark Allen for him to run a big race for Shark, but I just think he lacks class. Indo 20-1. I think he's overpriced. If you go back and look at Indos, I know he's getting on in years and everything else. He won at Tramore, which was a very good performance over a trip that was well short of his best. I know he's getting weight off Statler and all that. You go look back on his Cheltenham record. Never out of places. This trip suits him down to the ground. He's been put away. He's come here fresh. I can see him running a massive race. 20-1. I'm personally going to back him each way. To finish in the top 3 at least. He won't win. Don't get me wrong, he won't win, but I can see him being there, coming 2 out. He has the legs to keep going is another thing. I just think 20-1's is a bit overpriced when you consider that Protectorat was behind him. I know Protectorat won at the Betfair. Just a horse that I can't get a handle on. He bombed out then at Cheltenham. I just something about him. I just think he's phased to deliver on the big days. Look, he won obviously at the Betfair Chase when Absolute bombed out, but he's a horse that no, I couldn't have. Which leads me on to Absolute 8-1. I think it's an absolute. It's a steal of an each way price. He's last year's winner, 13-length winner, one of the most impressive Gold Cup winners we've ever seen. Look, bombed out obviously and the Betfair Chase when he was odds on. It came to light that there's something got into his system when he was travelling, and that's the reason behind his bad run. Now, on the other side of it, things, we haven't seen him since, which is a worry in a way, because his best performances don't come. Majority of his best performances don't come first time out. Bar last season when he won the Betfair Chase and he looked like a world beater, and he turned out to be a world beater. He's a very good Cheltenham record as well. I think there's going to be. I reckon there's going to be a decent pace here. There's a lot of horses that will need a pace to aim at. I think there might be one or two. We have a high senior. You're going to have Indo. Whether they make use of Brave Man's Game or not, they probably won't with the trip. And I reckon they make a bit of use out of Statler as well. So there's going to be a decent pace on. It's not going to be slow as last year. Will he get into it as easy as he did last year? I don't know. But if you take out that run last season, or the start of this season, 8-1 is a massive price for defending champion. I know I know we're kind of looking at last year again, but if you go back through Cheltenham races, it's the same horses that appear on the scene year in, year out, be it Gold Cups, champion hurdles, stayers. They all kind of seem to be thereabouts. So it's the kind of tried and tested with me with the each way side of it. And I think then I just come to the outright winner, Galloping the Champ. From the day he won the Martin Pipe, I thought this fella was something special, and he's turned out to be something special. I don't think there's going to be any problem with him seeing out the trip after the way he won at Leopardstown. I just think not a good thing, but a horse that has the world at his feet, and I think it'll take a good performance to beat him. One who we'll just touch on, who actually won yesterday, which would have been Saturday, was Shiskin. A lot of people are saying, oh, he's going to be a Gold Cup horse, so on and so forth. I don't see it personally. I would put him into the reckoning if I saw him run over 3 miles and saw how we finished, if he hit the line well and whatnot. Look, he won Alaska, which is a relatively flat track. I know there's a lot of stamina in his pedigree, but it's not long ago he was having these issues with his bones. He was having he had a wind surgery. There's just too many issues for me to go near him at. I think he's 10-1 or something like that. But I don't even think he's going to run here. He seems to be, the Ryanair seems to be the choice for him, and he's going to have one hell of a massive chance in the Ryanair with Alho out. But yeah, I think all in all, I think Galloping the Champ will take a lot of beating in this. Place wise, I think Indo is overpriced at 20s. He's always seems to be thereabouts. Plutard is a massive price at 8-1, going on what he done last year. And look, there's one or two in there who are just hovering on the top level horse, graded 1 horses. You have the Conflated Statlers, Brave Man's Game. Any of the rest of them could be in the place, but solely on a win purpose, Galloping the Champ on the each way, I would have a small bit on Indo and at Plutard. So that is my little segment on the Cheltenham Gold Cup. Look, on to this point, I hope all your punting goes well at Cheltenham. More importantly, look, just enjoy it. I know we give out a lot about racing. There's a game of opinions. Just enjoy it. Have a few bets. Bet responsibly and all that. But yeah, from me, best luck at your punting for the 2023 Cheltenham Festival.
The Cheltenham Exchange boys have given me one of the best races of the festival to preview. The St James's Place Hunter's Chase, the Amateur Gold Cup, as some people like to call it. First run in 1904. And this threw up an absolute thriller last year, didn't it? Billaway getting up on the line to beat Wing Leader. Wing Leader looked like he was going to win it, jumping the last. But Billaway flew home. I was watching the race in the Centaur at Cheltenham, and I can tell you now the horse was well sported, Billaway, and the place was absolutely rocking after he got up on the line. He'll be back to defend his crown. But let's start off with the market leader Vorsalet, the 8-year-old. This horse is ever so consistent, such a smooth, slick jump. Had a lovely run at Down Royal the last day, and I think this horse is still on the up. I think he's definitely the one to beat in this field. 9-4, probably this far out may not be the best price, but on the day, if he was sitting there around 2-1, I'd definitely be having a play on this horse. We'll talk about Wing Leader, who finished second in this, an unlucky second, some people may call it, last year. And this horse here had a lovely run actually at Cragmore at the back end of January. This horse, that'll get this horse match fit for this race, and I'm sure he's going to put in another big run once again. Billaway, the horse that won it last year, I wasn't too impressed by Billaway's last run. I mean, he went off 2-7, didn't he? But he didn't win like a 2-7 shot on the day. I know that, yeah, the exchanges almost made him around 2-1, maybe even bigger, as they turned into the bend. So, yeah, Billaway, I'd have my few question marks. Of course he could come on massively for that run. Of course he can still win this. But I couldn't be backing him based on what I saw that day. There is one man in this field who has a really good record as a trainer, and it's Paul Nicholls. And we saw Secret Investor at Kelso the other day. That horse is 10-1 for this race. Wasn't too impressed by his jumping at Kelso. I really wasn't. He made a really bad mistake just before turning in, and he was a bit low over his fence. I'm not sure he'd get away with that at Cheltenham. Maybe Aintree may be the plan for Secret Investor. But Mr. Nicholls, right? He has one man that he wants to win the Hunter's Chase. And you all know what's coming. One man, and it's Mr. David Maxwell, who has 2 horses entered in the race in Cat Tiger and Bob and Co. Now, Cat Tiger finished 5th last time out in a handicap chase at Ascot behind Larry, a lovely horse at the Gary Moore yard. There was no way that I was coming on a Cheltenham Exchange preview and not mentioning Gary Moore's name. But yeah, he ran a good 5th in that race there. But we've got to remember this horse was second in a Fox Hunter's Chase at Aintree, and I'd imagine that would be the plan again. He ran a really good race in that race at Aintree, second of 23 in that field. I imagine that's the plan with Cat Tiger. But the one horse who could come back after falling last year is Bob and Co. This horse went off 11-2 last year, really well supported. Unfortunately took a tumble, but did get into quite a nice rhythm before doing so. David Maxwell knows this horse like the back of his hand, and this horse is very lightly raced. So being a 12-year-old, I know 12-year-olds don't have the most fantastic record in this race, but this horse is very lightly raced and he'd probably go well fresh. Usually has a prep run at Haydock. That was meant to happen kind of middle of February, the weekend just gone. But he didn't go for that run. I wouldn't be too bothered. Even if he turned up at Cheltenham fresh, I wouldn't be too bothered at all, because this horse can go very well fresh. And you've got to remember, in 2021, this horse finished ahead of Billaway in Hunter's Chase at Punchestown. So I think 20-1 about Bob and Co may be far too big. If he's that price or anywhere near that price on the day, I'll be backing him each way. But I think Vorsalet is definitely the one to beat in the St James's Place Hunter's Chase. And there we go. That's me previewed the race. The best race of the festival. You couldn't give me a better race, lads. But yeah, look, you can catch me throughout the whole year on the Next Gen Racing YouTube channel. You'll catch me at the Racing Post. The Racing Postcast is something that I host on the odd occasion, stepping in for Bruce Millington. And you'll also probably see me on some of their video shows throughout the year as well. Brand new look for the Next Gen Racing YouTube channel during the flat season. Get ready for that. It's going to be a complete change in terms of the look of the whole channel. Looking forward to that. We've got a Cheltenham Festival preview on the 3rd of March. That's down on the South Coast. Give me a message if you do live on the South Coast and are keen on attending that, because, yeah, there are still a few tickets available. Best of luck to the Cheltenham Exchange boys, though. I'm sure this is an excellent preview. They have plenty of different guests on. Loving the work they're doing. I know they're going to probably switch off for the flat season, and they'll be back again come the back end of the year to start talking more Cheltenham Ante-Post bets once again. But best of luck to anyone having a bet during Cheltenham. Looking forward to it. It's been a fantastic week. We've got some really open fields, and I think the fact that we've had a few horses and hot horses beaten at Punchestown, the Dublin Race Festival at Leopardstown, not Punchestown. I think that's made this Cheltenham Festival a really open one. Really looking forward to it, and should be a fantastic week. So enjoy it if you are attending.
Hi there, Alex here to give you the 5th and final selection on the 4th day of the Cheltenham Festival. So the race I'll be previewing is the Mare's Chase, which at the top of the market is currently being dominated by Allegory Devassi and Impervious. To be honest, both of those for me are a little bit short. I mean, Allegory Devassi currently best priced 13-8, as low as 5-4 in some places. I mean, she's run twice over fences so far. I know she's been very good, but I mean, it wouldn't be for me, not at that price. In terms of Impervious, she's obviously got a little bit more substance to her form, had a few more races over hurdles, and then She's had 3 good wins over fences so far. But again, I mean, the price is just too short. I mean, best price currently 2-1. She's as low as 6-5. To me, it's one that I'm happy to leave, and I'll probably look for a little bit of value. So the one I'll be siding with, actually at a bigger price, currently 25-1, which I think is a nice each way price, and you can get nominal in a bet with this as well, is Riviere de Tel. She had some really nice form as a novice last season, running as a 5-year-old as well. So, I mean, clearly entitled to improve on that. So, one of the sort of highlights, she actually beat Jeremy's Flame, who's currently third favourite in this race. She also had a second behind Fernie Hollow, beaten a length and a half. Had a second behind Blue Lord, beaten half a length. And she finished the season. She finished the season. She came to Cheltenham and she actually finished 5th in the Arkle. However, I think she actually ran better than her position. She led from the front. She ran very well until possibly 2 out. I think by then she'd used up all the petrol she had in the tank by sort of pinging fences, and she was very, very enthusiastic out front, put it that way. After that, she then ran behind Galopin des Champs at the Punchestown Racing Festival. Now, her form, she did have a good first time out this year to Captain Guinness, and then she was beaten the second time out by Zambella. She actually finished 4th that day, beaten 36 lengths. And to me, I don't think she really gave her true running that day. I think she's better than that. And I've just seen as well in a recent stable tour for Gordon Elliott, where he's previewing sort of some of the runners he's got at the festival. He's mentioned that they discovered that she did have a back issue, which has now been corrected. So, I mean, to me, I think she's well overpriced. I think at her best form, she's well entitled to be there with the 2 sort of main market favourites. So Allegri Devassi and Impervious. She's 25-1, so really nice each way price. And yeah, I think she'll run a big race and at least get you some each way money back. So that's my selection for the Mare's Chase. Riviere de Tel, currently best price, 25-1, non-runner, no bet. And yeah, each way. Finally, to wrap off the show today, I just need to say thank you to our guests. So thank you to Dawn, thank you to Cheers, thank you to Andrew from the Finishing Line, and then of course Sam Hart as well. Thanks guys for your selections, and I hope you all have a very successful festival and make lots of money. Thanks again for joining us for these last 4 days. Thanks. Goodbye.